Information fueled.
Opinion driven.
This is Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis.
And so, my fellow Americans,
we talk news.
Man, I hate when this happens. 8:06 on Nashville's Morning News. I got 5 things going on. So, Tim Burchett, congressman, has called my cell phone.
Oh, did he?
Because I asked him to call in at 8:06 because I want to know how his conversation went.
Yeah. The one with President Trump over the budget deal.
Right. Now, Of course, my feeble brain is unable to remember what our hotline number is. So I don't know how to do this because I need to text him. Well, can you just call? Do you have Tim Burchett's number? KGB?
I think I do. Let me check.
And while all of this is going on, poor EJ Host is on hold because we're going to talk. EJ, you are a radio professional. So
he double booked you, EJ.
No, I didn't double book. Breaking news happens, and EJ of anybody. By the way, a nice shanking of my name during the newscast.
Oh,
Joan.
You heard that, huh?
Oh, I sure did.
I thought you'd be really happy I used your audio.
Yeah, but you shanked my name, and that is the most important part. Anyway,
move on, Don.
So we're trying to get Tim Burchett on, Congressman Tim Burchett, because he and I were going back and forth, and he has had a, quote, lengthy conversation with Donald Trump. I don't want to take a lot of time with the congressman because, I mean, he's very busy and is always so great with us. And he's clearly very busy. So, all right. So Congressman Tim Burchett. So I know that you're really busy and I really appreciate it. So, but you were name checked in a whole bunch of different articles about how President Trump called you and it sounds like he twisted your arm to get you to vote for the big, beautiful budget deal. Talk to me about what happened.
Well, he didn't do any arm twisting, actually. The first thing he said to me was, well, he calls me Tim, which is cool. And we talked, gosh, it must have been almost 20 minutes. There's actually a picture of me. I had to go vote, and he said, well, let's just keep talking. And we talked. And anyway, he said, let's see, I was concerned about the spending, of course, and where we were headed. And in reality, a lot of the misgivings is misinformation. And all this really is a framework. It doesn't say he's got to do it. It just, and that's what the Democrats and the liberals and the media are playing us on the Medicaid and Medicare cuts. They're not cuts in those. They're cuts in the departments that oversee those. And what will happen, like under Reagan, when he said it takes cost the taxpayers $1 to distribute $1. So you're out $2, right? So he just cut the delivery service and in effect saved the taxpayers half the money, but was able to send all the money to the people that needed the services. And so the liberals say, oh, he cut the department in half. Well, I guess reality, maybe he did, but the reality is all he did was cut the delivery service, and that's what we're seeing. And then part of that delivery is waste, abuse, and fraud, and we're going to find that in there. I guarantee you. Just like if we're going to have ghost recipients of these funds, you're going to see some of it going overseas. Yep. You're possibly going to see it going to terrorist organizations. And we've got enough intel on that is a reality. And so those are the kind of things I was concerned about. I was concerned about cuts. I wanted to see cuts at the Pentagon. I want to see a dismantling of the Department of Education, and that money sent to the states and allow them to be responsible with it, which is what Tennesseans want overwhelmingly because we can pay our teachers more. And those are the things that we talked about. And, like I said, the first thing out of his mouth was, Tim, I love Tennessee. And I said, I know, Mr. President, they love you. But, and we just had a really, really good conversation. And there's actually a picture of me. I was actually with the speaker at the time that he called. And I'm walking in because what are you going to do? Tell the president, hey, I got to go. No, you continue on the conversation. Yeah. I'm just a kid from West Hills. And, and talking to the most powerful man in the world is, it's a great privilege that the people of Tennessee give me. So it was a lot of conversation, but reality is he's never lied to me. Some of these cats up here have lied to me. I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw the dome off the Capitol, but Trump's never lied to me. Everything he said was truthful, and And look, and I can vote against any of the spending or vote for the spending. And this just allowed the framework to go forward. It's part of the bureaucracy. And the Republicans and the conservatives are terrible at messaging. We've allowed the left to say this is going to cut Medicaid and Medicare. It doesn't even mention those departments. It doesn't even mention them in this thing. But yet, that's what everybody says, and they're scaring old people and they're scaring poor folks. And that's wrong, and they deserve to be slapped back. And we're going to be doing that.
Congressman, when you speak to Donald Trump, I'm epically curious about this. How much nuts and bolts does he know? Like, can he talk about the nuts and bolts of it, or is he more of a big picture guy?
It's amazing to me, just the specificity. That's a big word for a kid from East Tennessee to use, but it's amazing to me just how detail oriented he knows everything. But he is a big picture guy. We were talking about other ways. We started talking about the border and some programs they were going into, and he knew and he said we talked because he called me out specifically during the press conference where they said that that they weren't going to let men in women's sports, and he called me out during that because I'd had that little run-in with Jim Acosta on CNN, and he apparently wasn't a big fan of Jim Acosta since he had him kicked out of the press pool at the White House. But
yes,
he called me out during that, and he I don't know if the guy ever sleeps. I get up at 4:30 every morning, and I'm thinking, here's this old guy in the White House who's probably been up 2 hours before then. So, it's incredible, really. Like I said, I don't want him teaching my daughter's Sunday school class down at the Baptist church, but I like him sitting in the White House.
All right, Congressman, I promised you that I'd keep it short. You're so good with your time. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Hey, brother. Last time I was on here, my girl Bobby Petray, I said something nice about her, and she wasn't listening, so I hope she's listening this morning, because if she's not, I'm never going to say anything nice about her again. Thank you, brother.
All right,
talk to you later.
Thank you very much. Here's what we know about Bobby Petray. Bobby Petray is an early morning listener. Like every time I say or do something or I shank something, she texts me on my private line, it's private. Nobody wants my phone number, but my cell phone. She'll give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So thank you, Bobby. I very much appreciate all you do for conservatism here in the state of Tennessee. Do you know what I wonder, Joan? And EJ, I'm coming to you after traffic. Joan, do you know what I wonder?
What's that?
So when you have I'm gonna sort of air quote this. When you have a lengthy conversation with Donald Trump of like 20 minutes, how do you get through the weave?
Yeah.
Do you know what what I mean when he because he weaves and it drives me crazy. I mean, I love the man, but he drives me crazy. And but I mean, a lengthy conversation with Donald Trump would be like 4 hours to me.
Yeah.
Because he does what he does. And
he pulls in this thread from here and this thread from here, and he starts weaving.
Yes, that's exactly. And he's very proud of the weave.
Well, sometimes, and this happens to me, I'll start the weave and forget how to get back. What was I talking about initially?
You know what?
And I don't find that President Trump does that. And the man is so much old, almost 20 years older than me.
Well, so basically what will happen with Trump, because I edit together audio, I listen to a lot of it, it's interviews and so forth, is they'll start at point A, and then he'll not finish point A. He's on to point B, point C, and maybe he'll go back and bring it all the way back around, and maybe he won't. However, this kind of presentation has always worked for Donald Trump, and we love him. So there you go. 8:15, Nashville's Morning News. By the way, I just said that I love Donald Trump. Make sure that a tape of that gets to Caroline Levitt, because they're talking about local talk show hosts and how she's going to start working on local talk show hosts, getting interviews with Donald Trump.
They actually did that. Was that Monday or maybe Friday of last week? They had the local, the DC based people come to the White House, and they had they did sort of a roundabout where they just each person would get up and talk to the next host.
Yep.
Really cool. Like that kind of affording that access to reporters is amazing.
You know what? When are they going to get down to like Tennessee? That's what I want to know. When are you going to get back down to Nashville? All right, got to go. 8:16, time to check the roads on WTN.